Hey everyone, my name is Bohdan. I am co-founder at Mithraeum. And my topic is stationary bandit at DAO service. So since this is a technical conference, I'm gonna speak about the governance and blockchain governance from a theoretical and technical perspective. My topic is divided by 4 chapters. First of all, I give a short introduction. I'll define the current state. I'll describe the problem. Then we're gonna talk about Mancur Olson's stationary bandit. Maybe someone heard. Then I'll introduce the Mithraeum, the project that me and my team are working on, and the smart policies, the cool stuff that you could build on top of Mithraeum. So let's begin. You know, I think that I'm a Ethereum maximalist. You heard about the Bitcoin maximalist, but I am a Ethereum one. Why so? Because.
Yeah, I think me too. So, yeah. Sorry.
Do you see money Legos? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, great. You know, the coolest thing that I really love in Ethereum is composability. The ability to develop protocols on top of another protocols, to build your colossus on the shoulders of giants. Composability, in addition with decentralization, means there is the lesser need for companies or developers to compete, and gives much more incentives for cooperation. Good example is DeFi, decentralized finances. It's a great mechanism, like a Swiss watch, but much more complicated, and anyone could attach his own part. I love DeFi primarily for pioneering Ethereum's potential. But today, we're gonna zoom out from world of finances and take a look wider. You know, the thing that really intrigues me is how all this decentralized compatible smart contract stuff could be used in reinventing not just money, like DeFi does, but the governance institution. First of all, I mean the state. So, could we create state on a blockchain? Could we use smart contracts as state authorities? Liquid democracy, direct democracy. You know, there are a lot of scientific works and concepts that describe many interesting models, how our society could work in different way. But all these models are way too painful and expensive to test and practice. You can just remember communism. You know, someone said that we needed more than 70 years and millions of lives to find out that communism was not such a great idea. Our approach is that all these models could be built and tested in incentivized virtual environment. And Ethereum show itself as a great playground for game theory that has a key role in the politics. But to start answering all these questions, let's first figure out where the state came from. So in order to build our better decentralized future, we have to go back into past for a while, to the era of the first civilizations, many years BC. Stationary bandit. You see stationary bandit, right? Is it lagging? No? Hello?
Hey. Yeah. We are just putting you in the CD is muted, and we are just putting you in the main section. So depend on you. If you want to have us during the conversation, or if you want to have all of the conversation for you. So
no, not now.
Okay.
Later. Okay, so it's not lagging. I just asking. That's smooth, right?
Okay, you can go on.
So, as I already said, there are a lot of theories how the state was invented. Someone think that people just suddenly got together and agreed. Someone thought that it is given by divine powers. But The most legit theory, in my opinion, that fits with the game theory is stationary bandit. It was described by American economist and political scientist Mancur Olson from Maryland University. Let's see how it works. The first sign of civilization began from the tribe. Before agriculture, the tribes were hunting societies, are normally made of bands, about 50 to 100 people, usually connected via family ties, so internal consensus could be achieved easily. However, when the band becomes too large or disagreement is intense, the band may split. But anyway, there is no incentive for tribes having the war on another tribes or keep slaves, since the captives cannot generate enough surplus to justify the cost of guarding them. Eventually, turning point has happened when agriculture was invented. Some grain. Yeah. Agriculture led to the food surplus. And here where the roving bandit came on a scene. Some tribes realized that because everyone can now have a surplus of resources, now it is quite profitable to take them away from weaker tribes, rather to gather themselves. At first it was through the brute force by killing, raping, pillaging, and so on. This strategy was oriented in maximization extractable value, but with high risk and a short term. But our roving bandit strives to be a long-term investor. So he decided, why not just to get the weak neighbors to sign a pact? I put some pact. That the weaker ones paying regular tribute to stronger ones. Later, everyone will call it taxation. And here, how our roving bandit becomes a stationary bandit. Put down his sword and wear the crown. And this cool sphere. And that is the first state. Early states in our human history were just tribute payment systems. Also good example are the feudal states. Here you have a king, here you have dukes, barons, counts, and the vassal agreement. Stationary bandit get his tribute and incentivized in protecting his subjects from another bandits. Subjects, in turn, gain security and confidence in their future, so they can continue to develop their business. Here we have two key functions of the state. First, wealth distribution. It doesn't always mean to be fair. And the security. And now we come to a very cynical conclusion. Brute force is the best incentive for cooperation. The war as an engine of progress. As has been said, it's a way too long, painful, and expensive process in real life. Humanity needed more than 10,000 years to get from this stage to the current. The good news is that there is a possibility to simulate similar conditions, so virtual stationary bandit could be born, in order to launch the same wheel of progress in a blockchain governance, for example. It could be done through gamification. And here we come. the Mithraeum. So, what is Mithraeum? The project that me and my team working on. It's a political strategy game, fully on-chain, decentralized, and powered by smart contracts. The player is a ruler of his own tribe, or let's call the settlement, in Mithraeum virtual world that is divided by continents. The protocol consists of three main mechanics. Economical mechanic, that you are able to build up your settlement, manage your people and economy, gather manufacturing game resources that are of course ERC20 tokens and could be exchanged on a Uniswap, for example. Military mechanic. So you are able to train your troops, gather army, siege and raid other players in order to gain more value. And the main feature is that Mithraeum primitives provide composability for players to build their own smart contracts on top of the game. The most common case would be in-game diplomacy. Summarizing all these mechanics we have, there are immeasurable assets that represent and produce value. There is a possibility gaining or losing this value due to gamified brute force. There is a possibility to build protocols on top of the core game to govern all this stuff, for example. These gamified principles provide great incentives for players to find the best way to cooperate in order to gain more value, according to game theory. Hence, the most creative and enterprising players, here they are, that constructed the most advanced governance protocols will get more success and rewarded by the game. This gives rise to a continuous process of iteration and elaboration of the most creative and daring ideas. How our society could work on different way. What parts could be replaced and what impact would it have? So, what political model you're gonna build? A feudalism? A republic? Or invent something new? The policy Legos are coming. And the last chapter. Since I still have time, I wanted to describe more how all this stuff gonna work under the hood, how we managed to provide construction sandbox with no code and example user story. First of all, I have to define that protocols that are built on top of Mithraeum, we call them smart policies. Like policies, but smart because powered by smart contracts, you know. It consists a smart contract itself and IPFS link, where front-end and metadata is contained. When smart policy deployed, it could be accessed from Mithraeum interface that would pick up policy from front-end from IPFS. Smart policies built on top of Mithraeum could have any architecture. However, we expect that it's gonna be built mostly via microservices architecture. So we can easily replace small parts of your protocol with no code, gaining flexibility and the Lego effect. Continue about the no code, there is a smart policy store. The marketplace where anyone could pick up and deploy the policy they need from a factory contract. Of course, any developer can contribute to the store and push new factories inside via a specific on-chain event that is going to be picked up by the store. Here we have a collection of policies that our team made as an example. Working title, social contract. And now I will try to visually tell you the user story, taking an ancient Rome as an example. So yeah, here we have the Mithraeum protocol that consists core mechanics and bunch of player settlements. Let's assume that we are playing for this one, the Rome. I am biggest fan of ancient Rome, you know. So as a player with a well-developed settlement, I feel the domination on my neighbors. So I decided that I need to subjugate them. The best solution is to create my own virtual state from policies from the store. So I go to Smart Policy Store and deploy social contract main. Renaming it to Roman Kingdom. So this is a hub, the root policy. It contains arbitrary execution method and a list of members of the Roman Kingdom. And I connect my settlement to this policy. This is the delegation line. So I delegate my settlement to the Roman Kingdom. Now I have to provide the incentives for my neighbors to become a member of my state. What my neighbors want? Guaranteed peace with me, of course. So I go to what is mutual non-aggression? It's a smart contract that only contains a punish button, where it checks whether the member attacked another member and penalize the aggressor. Anyone could push the punish button, providing proof of aggression. And I connect it. So because my settlement is delegated to the main, and main delegated to the non-aggression policy, this policy has all rights to slash me if I break the law. Now I have to think about my own interest in acceptance new members to the Roman Kingdom, the regular tribute. So I go to Smart Policy Store, deploy the treasury to store my kingdom wealth, and the contribution policy, where I can set the membership terms, like stake some settlement production tokens in a treasury as a regular tribute or taxation. And I connect it. And here we're done. By constructing such system, I incentivized other players to join my kingdom in exchange in regular tribute. So they are also connecting. I remind these are delegation lines. Cool. I am a stationary bandit now. But clock is ticking, time passed, geopolitical situation might change, and suddenly my subjects come to me and say, hey, give us a right to vote, otherwise we will find another lord. And so I go to Smart Policy Store and deploy the governance. Here it is. Connect it with the main and distribute the governance tokens among my subjects. So from now, I can call my state a Roman Republic. Same like in history. Now the stationary bandit is the democratic governance entity. But same evolution process happens with my competitors, like the Carthage Republic. Which is already threatening a war, same like in history. But because I'm the Roman, and the Roman, they had the best regular army in their time. So I go to Smart Policy Store and deploy military service policy. And connect it. That creates additional incentives for my subjects to provide their army in a wartime. So now the governance, or let's call the Senate, could declare the wartime, and anyone who didn't bring their banners in time gonna be penalized or slashed. Now we are the power. The less advanced in policy building Carthage has to surrender and accept Pax Romana and join the Rome as a subject and pay tribute, of course. So now we are the Roman Empire, finally. So yeah, that was just a short example what story could happen in Mithraeum. How everything will actually happen, we don't know for sure. Our job is only bring protocols and tools for policy and story creating. At the moment, we have ongoing alpha testing of economical mechanic. So I invite everyone who's listening to join our Discord and ask for alpha key. And get more information on Mithraeum.io website. Thanks for your time and the questions.
Thank you. What to say? Really awesome presentation. It's really good. It's really good. And I like it so much, starting from the beginning till the end. So congratulations, because I never say a presentation like this, and I like it so much. So it's really cool.
Thank you.
Really cool. There are a lot of questions I have, and I think that we discussed in DM about it, right?
What?
We discussed it in DM about it, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So can I say something about the fact that, as I said before, with the 0.5, we will help people to vote for the code of every kind of external DAOs and things like this, because I mean, something that is very interesting is to research and experimenting all of these new kind of not just, in your case, is not just a different way to approach I don't know how to say, just the governance of things, but it's basically the Ethereum version, as I said before in our conversation, it's the Ethereum version of Age of Empires, and it's very cool.
Yeah, sure.
Well, it's inspired mostly by Civilization or the Paradox Interactive games, if you heard. Europa Universalis or Crusader Kings, maybe you know.
Yeah,
it's a global strategies.
I love to play that kind of game, so yeah. So I'm a gamer, so.
Really cool, really cool. Can you please focus on the drawing, on the main drawing you were?
Yeah, sure.
We're doing, because
what's main? This main or
the Roman Empire?
Bandit?
No, the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire.
Roman Empire. Oh. Okay.
Yeah, because it's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's really curious, this. So let's just try to recap, if I understood well.
Mm-hmm.
Every settlement is a single wallet, let's say. Okay, so the Rome inside that Pentagon is a settlement which is a wallet. Is it right?
Well, it's a smart contract, not just wallet.
Yeah, okay, but it represents a user.
It represents user account, yeah, of course. But user can have multiple settlements if he wants.
Of course, with the different wallets or the same wallet.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So a settlement means, for example, a bunch of citizens, okay, ruled just by a smart contract, which is one user, right?
Yes, right.
Okay, cool. And then there is the smart policies, the smart policy called the Roman Empire, and this is a smart contracts linked to the settlements, so it has the list of the settlements, and it can do stuff.
Yes.
Okay. First question: are all these smart contracts depending from the same interaction interface? I mean, for example, the army one or the treasure one, do they share something in common in the code structure? I mean, like an interface or something like that?
You talk about the smart policy interface?
Yes.
Yeah, as I already said, every smart policy contains, of course, a smart contract and the front end with metadata that is located on IPFS. So you take it from smart policy store, deploy it, and you already have all the protocol and the interface for it. So you can interact it in Mithraeum. So Mithraeum pick up the front end of the smart policy.
Okay, but how about this is the common interface, and how about the behavior? So every smart policy can be, for example, the Roman Empire one is linked to the others. But is there any kind of how is the interaction map? There are, for example, some smart policies which can be linked, or there are smart policies that are that links more than one. How it works? It's
it could be possible. For instance, you can see that mutual non-aggression, we call it convention. Why so? Because it could be common for many virtual states, not just Roman Empire. So it could be deployed once, and the Roman Empire, the Carthage Empire, some other empire could link itself to this one single convention.
Okay. So this means that, for example, I can have the single policy about the. Can you zoom, please? Can you zoom anymore? Okay.
Yeah.
The mutual not so much, but okay. The mutual non-aggression can be linked by more smart policies, and if you pass something from the external, like for example a proof of aggression, it can interact with the corresponding policy because it has the permissions.
Yes. This is our permission lines, the delegation lines. So it means that these settlements trust to Roman Empire, and Roman Empire trust to convention mutual non-aggression. So mutual non-aggression could, through these lines, could punish any of the settlement if they break the law.
Okay. So this means that in your drawing, this means that little square in the delegation lines means that smart policy can have the permission to do something on the other part of the other line.
Yeah. It could be one or two-sided. For instance, it could be like this.
Okay.
So trust could be one-sided or two-sided if we need.
Okay. And this is really what's the stage of the implementation of this kind of stuff?
Well, currently it's on development. We have currently the alpha test of the economical mechanic. Next stage is going to be military mechanic, and then the smart policies to close the cycle.
What you mean with the economical mechanic?
Economical mechanic means that you're already able to build up your settlement, manage your people, produce some goods, manufacture some goods that are the ERC20 token. That means that you can grow and build and develop your economy. But you currently cannot make troops, attack, siege someone, raid someone. You're able to make smart policies, but currently we didn't provide any tools.
Okay,
it's going to be on later release.
Okay, so this means that the settlement smart contracts are able to mint tokens, right now.
Yeah, sure. They mint token through the world contract. We have the world contract that that because the resources, the ERC20 tokens of goods, it's a part of the world's physics.
Sure.
So the world contract means it token by if the settlement ask.
Okay. So, for example, there can be only, I don't know, I say something stupid, 20 apples to be minted, to be farmed every 3 blocks, kind of like this.
Yeah, something like that. Okay. But there are a lot of mechanics like prosperity and other cool stuff. You can see it on alpha testing.
Okay. So all this stuff is the Mithraeum smart contracts.
Yeah, sure. It's fully on chain and it is planned to be fully decentralized.
Okay. And I think they can be upgraded in the future.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, it looks really interesting. Can you please explain how the treasury and the economic paying tributes work? What's the difference?
Yeah. Okay. So the treasury, it's a smart contract. It's a policy where all the monies come. So in treasury contract, you're able to store your funds, to manage where it go, to the transferring, and the staking. I'll explain about the staking because in Mithraeum you can have some manufacture buildings like farms, mines, or blacksmiths, and every building has its own production tokens. And these production tokens they are representing the share in percentage. For instance, if the Gauls give one production token of the farm and stake it into treasury, it means that 1% of farm production is going to the Roman Empire treasury because they stake their tokens. They could withdraw it anytime, but in contribution contract, it is said that it should be staked. If it's not staked, then the Gauls could be kicked.
Okay. So for this reason, maybe the delegation lines to the treasury smart contracts must be 2 into the.
Yeah. I just didn't had enough time to make it correct.
Okay. Just to clarify.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So the contribution. So the treasury is a kind of storage. And the contribution one contains the rules of the contribution payment.
It contains your requirements to be a member. So if you miss these requirements, you cannot enter or you could be kicked.
You could be kicked. Okay.
From membership.
Okay. Now I say that not only settlements can. Now I see that not only settlements can be linked to a smart policy.
Yeah, sure.
But also other smart policies.
It could be it could be multi-leveled, as I explained already. So this is the Carthage Republic, for instance, and it could also contain a bunch of settlements linked in that paying a tribute to the Carthage. But the Carthage paying a tribute to the Roma.
Yes, sure. Okay.
So it's like a feudalism that I explained already above.
Yeah.
That the hierarchical structure of tax payment.
Yeah.
I want to play it. Let's look very.
it looks a really huge challenge to develop something like this, because it's really a lot of stuff and really a lot of mechanics to be linked together. Because, for example, I think that there are some kind of subset of smart policies which can be always that are mandatory. For example, the mutual non-aggregation smart policy is kind of mandatory if you think about it, or the treasury one.
I'm sorry.
I was saying that there are kind of a bunch of smart policies which are mandatory.
So mandatory.
Yeah, I understand. Well, it's all about the game theory. You can accept it or you cannot accept it, but suffer from the worse.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. And I have a question about the fact that, so for example, in a case of future, for example, because I'm seeing all of these things, not just kind of like a game to play, but some features. I mean, both in governance and in the financial perspective, that organizations in the future that maybe do something different. So they maybe do, for example, their own businesses or their own things. I mean, on-chain organization, obviously, not on the off-chain things. They can implement this kind of game, for example, to as a financial mechanic, both as an something like partnership on-chain mechanics or something like this, because I see a lot of evolution there. So have you seen the same things, or you're just seeing a game that worked alone?
Yeah, the main mission of this game is much more serious, in our opinion. That we see it as a sandbox, as a test environment for the future evolution of blockchain finances, blockchain governance, and perhaps maybe in future in a real world, to test the game theory with in-game incentives.
Yeah, I think that's pretty interesting as a features for on-chain organizations. Because,
as I said at the first, we needed in real world more than 70 years and many millions of lives to find out that communism was not such a great idea. But here we have the modern technologies, and we could test it in some virtual environment.
Yeah, like a simulation test.
yeah,
Yes.
that makes perfect sense. This makes perfect sense.
Cool.
And I think
I got a
so-
question. Hey, awesome presentation,
No.
by the way. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really intriguing stuff. I wanted to ask you first, like, is the ultimate, well, it's a world simulation, right? And you want to take lessons to the real world. But is the ultimate goal of the game world domination? And if so, do you ever foresee somebody like winning the game, like achieving the quest? I think it's an interesting question because I think people will play roles and do whatever they want, like you would any organization might form partnerships and try and build, businesses or something. But somebody will try to take on this quest, I believe. And anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Very cool, though.
Well, you see, it's intended to be like a big, endless chess game. So you determine here the goal for yourself. For instance, it would be, as you said, world domination, or you're just going to have fun, or you're just going to test some things, just to test some governance models or financial models, or you're going to be building, or you're going to be learning how to build with the game incentives. So there are many solutions, many interesting things for any audience.
I think it's cool. Yeah, great answer. Because I think it's up to anyone who plays it what they want to do. I do think it's cool that the idea of gamifying these kinds of experiments, it's just a really good R&D field because, I mean, we need to figure out some better systems. So this is like a good way to get people to actually, produce something like relevant and have fun doing it. And like, I love that part. So
Well, same as we currently doing with finances, with DeFi. For me, DeFi, it's same as it's a game.
I agree.
Because it's not such
Yeah.
connected currently with the
A
real world.
really, really dangerous game.
It is a game. It is a game, totally. So for example, farming looks like very, very like the farm games. So when you farm items, when you farm things too.
Yeah, here we have farming also.
Yeah, I saw that things, and I think it's pretty interesting to introduce farming. I mean, the Ethereum farming, not the regular farming, as a mechanic of games, because it's something that people do, and I think it's something that is pretty interesting for organizations because right now the vision and the experimentation in DeFi are more like take the classic world mechanics and try to use them in organizations on chain or apps and so on and so forth. And I think de facto to increase the range of things, to try to take advantages from what we experienced in video game and in more complex and advanced mechanics. It's pretty something like that sounds good for the future of experimentation, because we are not in the real world, we are in the Ethereum world, and Ethereum world is a computed world, as I said in the presentation before. And so we have to deal that's the future of things is about to think that as a computational world. So gaming is a huge part of the computational world, and it's something that can work very better in this ecosystem rather than the real world.
Yeah, cool. True thing. For me, I came to the programming, I came to the technical world also from gaming, because of gaming.
Yeah, me too. And I think most of the
Everyone here, maybe.
it comes from MMOs, like the same of you, the same of Vitalik, the same of a lot of people. I think because if you think about the game mechanics and the game's logic, it's very, very more similar to the mechanics of and the logics on top of Ethereum than the real world.
Because the video games try to simulate the human mechanics. This is the.
I think exactly the contrary. I think a video game, it's kind of like a bunch of things you can program and people can do things inside this box, okay? And Ethereum is basically similar because you have fixed rules in terms of things that people can do. So in a video game, you can't, for example, if I don't know, if you playing Mario, you can't take a weapon and shoot people, okay? Because you are playing Mario and there are fixed things you can do in Mario. This is the same for dApps, and it's pretty different from the real world, because in the real world, you don't have this kind of
limitations,
the rules, and you have the rules after you do things.
Yeah, and in Ethereum, you can take flash loans and shoot a few $1 million.
Yeah, but it's part of the game. It's part of the programmed game.
Yeah.
If it's not programmed, you can do it. You can't do it.
It's interesting. I'm new to try to learning the solidity and how smart contracts functions work. And actually, what started clicking for me was one of these gamification. It's the zombies game. I think it's very popular for learning Ethereum. But I looked at other just boilerplate documents, and it didn't really click. And then when I had it set in that environment where it's like you're eating like zombies or eating brains or something, and the tokens represent but it uses the smart contracts mechanics to, it's a fixed set of rules, and I saw how it worked, and it just for me helped. It clicked. So I don't know. For instance, I like how, I agree with kind of both what y'all are saying though. So I mean, in certain ways, it is a game, and in Mario you can't shoot a gun. But I've also seen the like speed hacks or wherever people have completely broken Mario, and you can turn it into a computer within a game and code. You could actually probably code a game of Mario where he could shoot a gun by like hex editing the cartridge. But I don't know. That's way off subject. Anyway, maybe not, but maybe so. Somebody could break Mithraeum potentially, right?
You know what I think? That according to me, thinking it about just a game, it's limited. It's a limited vision. I think that this is a really long-term project, which can bring a lot of surprises in the future. Even when other developers will come and offer their contribute on it, because I think that there will be more here. There will be more. So congratulations again, and can't wait to use your alpha test and try to understand the code behind it.
It's already ongoing. Alpha test of economical mechanic is already going. You can join our Discord and apply.
Yeah,
Looking
Yeah.
forward to it.
something that is very interesting. I want to know it. I want to try to help people. I mean, the DFL in the future with the 0.5 that is the sub DAOs and all of the things to help project to interact with this kind of mechanics, like fixed governance mechanics, so DAOs, or executable mechanics, so sub DAOs, and this kind of gamification mechanics, so they can so basically vote to run to add these things in their DFLs that are mechanics, so integrate with all of this feature that and maybe in the future there will be more. Sounds like virtual world in this case, because this is more a virtual world that other kind of virtual worlds, because there is a lot of very, very complex and mechanics that are more like this is a more of a virtual world than a virtual world that is, for example, CryptoVoxel is a virtual world, but this is a very virtual world mechanics. So I don't know if I explain my thought.
Well, I think it's currently because of Ethereum scalability problem that we don't have big complex virtual worlds. But I think that the technologies like Optimism or Ethereum 2.0 could make it happen.
Yeah, sure. I'm optimist too. So yeah, cool.
Is there any chance to see the code? Is that open source? It will be released open source or whatever?
It's gonna be released open source, yeah, but currently not now. We're gonna release it later.
Okay, yeah, because that is extremely important.
Yeah,
okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I love the art style.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
cool.
Yeah, I was checking out
Very
the
cool.
website.
You can check out on Mithraeum website. There is a PDF presentation that explains well what is Mithraeum and how it's gonna work. And as I already said, the alpha test. You already can participate.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Do we have enough time?
Yeah, basically we have, I think, 30 minutes before the next.
25 minutes.
No,
Okay.
I mean, no, maybe we are out of time. I have to check the. Yeah, we have 30 minutes. And so, Bohdan, check. There is something you want to focus before the end. Something you want to to say?
Well, I just wanted to say that we are really looking forward in collaboration with DFO, because we think that this stuff is what we have in mutual, and the smart policy thing and like a social contract governance, it could be, I think, easily built on DFO.
Yeah.
Especially in the 0.5, because we had a conversation with your team, and I think in the 0.5 with sub DAOs, it would be very, very easy to put all of these things and to roll this the evolution of the things, and it's very interesting to see this kind of projects in the future, because I think as much as I see in Ethereum, you are opening basically a new kind of experimentation there, because and this is why I ask you to go deep inside the item in the item standard, and to go to see something there, because there is this differentiation that I think is basically an abstract level on top of Ethereum. It's not really mathematical, from gamings and NFTs and ERC20 and DeFi, and I think it's pretty annoying, because technically there is no such a difference, and NFTs are not something incredible, are just things on top of Ethereum and an evolution of the ERC20, so it's not different mechanics rather than more methods and more things. And this, for example, is a game that is not something explored now, and so that's why I think it's pretty interesting as an exploration of something that will happen in the future. So more removing the distinction from the gaming ecosystem that is pretty new and centralized in this way, and the mechanics of Ethereum and the DeFi in that case. So I mean, for the farming things and for the other things. So I mean, in my personal view, this is something like the first real Ethereum game. That's my personal view, because it's run on Ethereum, and it's not like just having the tokens on Ethereum and the game that run outside. So that's the things I can say about this.
What about some sort of like CryptoKitties?
CryptoKitties, it's run on Ethereum. Yeah, I mean, okay, sorry. I mean something like a complex game. Okay, CryptoKitties is more like a gamble game than a game. I mean, so it's, the mechanics are more like a gambles rather than. I have a distinction from gamble games and video games. So gamble games are boring, in my opinion.
You mean the speculations? Yeah, right. So
Yeah,
it's just all about the speculations.
You mean the Kitties?
I believe it's true, but in Mithraeum we also have some speculations, like because you're gonna have some ERC20 tokens, the in-game value. But anyway, the mission is much more global.
Yeah. I mean, speculation is part of the game, and but I don't mean speculation in terms of pump dump or these things.
Well,
but
we have even some predictions that there could be some sort of speculations, like for instance, ICOs for the Crusades. So there is some big country that is rich, and we are gathering the funds on ICO to gather more settlements, gather more armies, and go siege and raid this rich country. So ICOs for Crusades could be some sort of such speculations, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It looks very fun. We have a question.
Uh-huh.
Can I ask what will happen if one of the settlement gains so much power So any new cannot compete in the future.
Well, I think I already answered this question.
Yeah,
So,
I remember you
just
asked
like
me
this,
this question. And yeah,
it's
Oh my
gonna
God.
be hard to become such a leader because first of all because uh, the settlement and the in-game value is it could be exchanged on the crypto, and there is no incentive to collect too many value. You have to monetize it, so you don't have to be so much powerful. But anyway, anyone could gather money. Anyone could calculate some investments to take down from your throne, and so I don't think that it could be a common case in a big perspective.
How do you imagine the gaming time? There were notifications. You need to check every day, every minute the progress of your settlement and so on.
Yeah. So because it's a we point it as a global strategy. The global strategy means that the actions that you do and the actions that you do on chain, they are mostly global rather than the tactical. So it means that you have to think much and make the decision and make the transaction. And we think that the gameplay is going to be mostly going on off chain, like in building cool stuff or having a politic debates on in community or
Sure.
Discord
Yeah.
and so on. So as I already said, it's like a big endless multiplayer chess game. So you have to think
Yeah.
much and do your turn.
Okay.
And that
And what
because of blockchain
Yeah.
scalability. So we cannot make data or StarCraft because it's a lot of click. It's a lot of actions. So the global strategy fits good with the blockchain scalability.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
I love
And
the social aspect that'll happen.
Yeah,
Like, I'm looking
sure.
forward to that. Like if you asked the question about Marco asked, what about notifications, for instance? I could foresee somebody saying, "Oh, well, as a social tool, I'm gonna give you guys good information, and so join my coalition." And so, like, I provide a social resource. For instance, there's just different ways that I don't know. I think there'll be a ton of game playing outside of the game too. That'll just be cool to watch.
Yeah, sure. And about the notification, we are planned that you gonna be able immediately interface making a broadcast through the signing of chain message, like in Etherscan. So you can say, you can prove that this is you, and you are notify everyone that you wanna do some stuff. For instance, to subjugate someone.
And what about okay for the decisions that it's useful to take them in a social way, but what about the stuff like, for example, the farming of the products or something like that? Is there are specific times how it will work?
You mean the economical part?
Yeah, the economical part, the farming part, yeah.
The farming part is that it's on chain, that you manage your citizen, that you manage your goods, that you manage your production, defining what economy, what the best solution for you, how to develop your economy. You take a look on the markets, you take a look what's currently is expensive. For instance, you see that the global war has started and the prices on the iron or the copper is pumped. So you develop your settlement with the mines, for instance, yeah. Or you can make or take from the smart policy store, for instance, smart governor, as we can call, connected to your settlement. And this smart governor will take some fee for his developer and can automate your development and production. You can all say to this smart governor that I want to develop mostly on mines, or I want to develop mostly on troops. And the smart governor that someone developed or we will develop it. It will do all the stuff. So our approach is that automate and bot everything that is possible. So the bots is okay. The bots is cool. You have to do the thing that need to use your brain. No routine. So if it's possible something to make automatic, it's great.
Mhm.
Yeah, cool. I think something I want to see is like an organization that manage an account here. So that's kind of interesting.
Who can
mean-
contribute? Sorry. Go on.
That's pretty interesting. Thank you. I hope. Sorry.
No. If you
Okay.
if you have to finish, go on. No worries.
No, don't worry. That's
Okay.
your turn.
I just wondering who is the contributor in terms of programming to the Mithraeum protocol. It will accept contribution from the external developers. I'm talking the Mithraeum virtual world.
Yeah, you mean the core, right?
Yeah.
So currently the core are developed by our team, but we are planning to open the contribution for everyone. But first we have to close the game cycle. We have to finish the economic, we have to finish the military mechanic, and we have to bring the first smart policy tools. And then we are thinking about opening it for the contributors.
How much people do you have in your team?
Currently, we have 5 people. So it's me as a CEO, for instance. We have a product, we have a blockchain developer, we have a front-end developer, and we are planning to expand.
Okay.
Cool. So I think.
Yeah, I'll say it's really, as you say, quite challenging, but we really love what we are doing. We are really having fun coding it and building it.